Zero work.
Are you ready?
I am not ready.
Zero work is getting done.
Are you ready?
No. Yeah, I am.
Let's go.
Let's talk about universities. The past few months, I have been adjusting to university. I've met some good friends, joined a few societies, and started looking for inside days in accounting and finance.
Where is that? Today we are going to. Where are we going? Now the A2.
And so I've been talking to seniors with more experience, industry experts who currently work in the roles, and started working with like-minded people to do what we want to do. But something didn't really seem right. Deep down, I was questioning my choices.
It's funny when I say I already feel safer. That says a lot about Manchester. But I already feel safer in Newcastle, which is a crazy thing.
Deep down, I was questioning if I had chosen the right university. Because everywhere I go, there just seem to be more opportunities in other universities, other cities, other countries, and everyone else was really in the position that I wanted myself to be in, but those that I wasn't able to get. So I started to look for excuses. I thought, oh, the University of Manchester isn't a target school in finance. It's not as prestigious as other universities like UCL, LSE or St Andrews. Or maybe I should have chosen a Canadian university instead, with higher QS rankings in which I even got scholarships in. Maybe because of its location, its business school was more well known and had more alumni connections with the industry. And so my progress started to fall. With a really bad case of imposter syndrome as well, I thought that I had made a really bad life decision. I would always go back to the night when I decided to choose the University of Manchester instead of Toronto because I made a choice opposite to what people recommended.
You know what's weird? I'm more of a city person, but I somehow like Newcastle more than Manchester, even if Manchester is more city-y than Newcastle. But I also like London more than Manchester. Maybe I just don't like Manchester entirely.
I would always feel like the grass is greener on the other side, and I wanted to switch universities. But I have already made the decision, and it would be both a financial and academic disaster to move universities at this stage.
What you got?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. What you
Sticky
get?
toffee.
Yes sir, yes sir. For those of you that don't know, one of the main reasons why I chose to study in the UK is because I play Forza Horizon 4. This is a driving game that's located pretty much in this area. And in that game, there is a location near the Bamberg Castle. If you played the game, you will know that's exactly the view. And that's crazy to me because I grew up playing this game. That's based on this area, and now I'm actually here. Even better, we'll go to Edinburgh a few days after, and that's just going to be pure Forza Horizon 4. They have a cannon right there, which is so interesting. So yeah, in the game, I would my car is 720, I also drift it over here, slide it here, and max out the car all the way over there. But yeah, now that I'm seeing it, it's crazy because of how real this is. Like, wow.
But after some time of reflection, here is what I noticed. The world isn't really as structural as it seems. I started meeting people who studied chemical engineering and ended up doing accounting, and people from unheard of universities that got into bulge bracket investment banks. And really, here is my take on that. The university that you go to and there's multiple rankings don't really matter. While prestigious universities in London and the US Ivy League will give you a step up in terms of your application positioning, this doesn't mean that not studying in these schools will instantly eliminate your chances. When it comes to internship and job applications, it still comes down to who you are. A super hard-working student who does constant networking, has leadership roles in multiple societies, and built his technical knowledge through raw curiosity and willingness to learn, at the end of the day will still stand out more than someone from LSE who did nothing else and just studied his course until the very end. In fact, it doesn't even matter what course you choose. From the people I've spoken to, you don't need to study law at university to pursue a law-related role. You don't need a finance degree to be successful in finance, and I know people who studied art degrees get internships in engineering roles. Because why? Because they can and they wanted to. And really, that's all that some of us lacked and needed to develop. So the main question is, do you really want what you want? With this, I feel like a crucial mistake not to make is to compare yourself with others. Because while it's good to be competitive on paper, in reality, this comparison will always be unfair. Sure, you may be both in the same year of study and are both pursuing the same field, but in the end of the day, you come from different backgrounds, have different working techniques, and are facing different challenges in life. So if there's anyone you should compare yourself with, it should be yourself from the past. Are you better than yourself yesterday? What improvements have you made in semester 2 compared to semester 1, and are you constantly pushing yourself for more? Once you realize that, you'll stop giving excuses on things you cannot control, like universities or location perhaps, and start focusing on what you can, which is yourself. Do you genuinely know enough to be qualified for these prestigious internships? If yes, how can this be enhanced? And if no, where are you lacking? There must be a constant and harsh re-evaluation of yourself from time to time to understand areas for improvement, and really, there is no limit, like the beauty of Edinburgh.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe my eyes.
So to sum up the story, is the grass always greener on the other side? Well, why ask this question? The grass will always be greener on the other side if we're only focusing on the grass on the other side and not your own. I'm happy with where I am now, and maybe in an alternative universe, I'll also be happy at the University of Toronto. But that is now not because I'm studying in a marginally more prestigious university, but because I understand that success comes from within yourself. So if you're determined, if you have a goal, and if you know where to build from, then keep focusing on this consistent growth, because sooner or later, you will be given the opportunity to shine. While life decisions are tough to make and each one feels heavier and heavier, just remember that everyone has their ups and downs, and all you have to do is just to keep improving yourself.